You are listening to the Old School Movements podcast with Daz, Chris and Steve. You understand?
So yes, Christmas has come around again, man. It's that time to be excited. Like 30 odd years ago, man, we would have been, getting our catalogue ready. Can't wait.
Can't wait for the day. Like you say, circling them things in Argos, man.
Yeah, man.
The catalogue.
Yeah. And all those catalogues, the little ones catalogue all through the year. Damn. Couldn't wait. It was like an occasion. It was a different kind of time to invest in that big pen and paper. I mean, that big pen and just circle that stuff. And then go to the radio, TV Times and circle that as well.
Circle the films. I'm watching this on Boxing Day. I'm watching this. I'm going to play with my toys in between this and this. Yeah, definitely.
And you got so excited. Did you guys ever get so excited that after you circled all your stuff in the catalogue, and then the big Little Ones catalogue, you started circling, they had hamper. He goes, no, I want that in from the hamper. Oh, that's tin of spam. Oh, that box of biscuits. Oh, that squash.
The stuff you wished for. That's sort of where we're going with this podcast.
The biscuits, definitely.
The biscuit, the shortbread, the Scottish shortbread in a tin.
You know what I mean? A tartan tin.
Yeah,
Stag
on the front.
That was the first thing Chris circled, you know what I mean? Because it went in the order, innit? At first it was the thing you wanted, the present you wanted, then it was the annuals, and then it was the food.
Yep.
So you had this imaginary Christmas already sorted. I'm unwrapping these and I'm unwrapping the annual, and that food's going to be on the table. But it didn't always work out like that.
I'm already sorted for me shower gels and me pants. They're coming anyway. You're sorted for them.
That's standard, isn't it?
They're coming anyway.
No matter what age you were, you got that stuff.
Well, you knew from the start. You looked at the present as those are socks. Those are underpants. The boxes is no, I'm interested in the boxes. What's in the
heavy
box?
boxes?
You know what I mean? This has got to be mine. Yeah, I know this. This has got to be mine. This has got to be that toy I was looking at on Argos. It's about the right size.
Isn't it?
You're vexed if it had someone else's name on it. It's hold on, that's a big one, man. I ain't even got my name on it. Someone else's.
Hey, you know what? That used to piss me off.
Yeah, they did everyone in it, definitely.
When you saw a big present, it did have your name on it. It's who's got that big present, man?
And that thing's under the tree for days, just looking at it again. Hold on, come on, man, that's got to be for me. Come on, man. What did I tell? What clues did I give him all year?
That's when time starts to stand still, then, isn't it? When you can see it there for a few days before the big day, and you can't open it. It's like time stands. The M45 days they drag. You just keep looking at it, thinking, I want to open it, man.
As it moved, is there something behind it? Come on, man. What is it? And if it wasn't what you wanted on Christmas Day, as a kid, it was come on, man. You had a year.
You've had a whole year.
As a kid, you don't care. You think Christmas time is the time everything should be coming in abundance. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about 80s toys that you always wanted for Christmas, but you just never got.
That's it.
We sound spoiled, but come on, it's Christmas, we're kids. It was a
we,
whole year.
We were, I think, between us, we were lucky enough to have some really good presents, man. And we got our folks to thank for that. They done well the Christmases we had growing up. So I'm not gonna begrudge everything I had, and I had a wicked growing up. But there was always, even for kids, I think, we knew a few kids who were spoiled, I think. And even for them, they must have had a little list of things that they never got that they wanted. Yeah, because we all did, didn't it? We all had this little list. There's always
a tier, isn't it? That's my level, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's our level. Yeah.
So guys, what was the first present? Can you try and take your mind back to the first ever present that you expected as a kid and you just didn't get it? And it's like, oh my, how did you react? What was your first letdown as a child?
I think mine was one of them ones. It was early on as well as a child, because it's one of them things you can have from quite young, but you still want it growing up for all of the years. So this was one of them things. It was a regular thing you circled in Argos. Every year you circled it knowing you're never going to get it. Santa's never going to bring it, or your parents are never going to get it. And that was the Mr. Frosty thing. Every year, it's one of them things. I thought, I want one of them. I want to make my own slushy at home. I want a frosty machine. And I'd circle it, but I'd know that was the last thing they'd ever get me.
You're not getting Mr. Frosty. As long as there's ice cubes in the fridge, Mr. Frosty is not coming into play.
It's a waste of money.
It's not coming into play. As long as you've got a freezer, Mr. Frosty is not existing in my household. But that's never happening. But it's always a circle. Just for hope. It wasn't top of the list, but for hope.
It was the hope.
For hope.
Because it was a snowman and it was frosty, it felt a Christmassy thing, innit? You didn't want it the rest of the year. Even in the height of summer, you didn't want it. You wanted it at Christmas.
Because that advert was so regular, that advert, wasn't it? That advert used to come on a lot. That was a crack advert. That was on a lot. Like Hungry Hippos, Kiora, Frosty, Transformers, Thundercats, Frosty. It was there a lot.
The nearest I got to that was that dairy milk dispenser with a 2p. That was the nearest sort of thing I got. That was quite a regular little stocking filler.
That was
at Christmas,
wicked.
But they're good looking back. That little mini bars, mini bars of dairy milk.
I got one of them once. That was on the list. That was one of those things that I never got, but I got one once, and my God, amazing. Then you got your mum for 2p. She's like, I don't want you to. I got money to put in the thing, so that.
You could never refill the chocolates. I could never.
You couldn't. Once it was done, it was done.
They were done, innit? Yeah, it was a bit of a con. That was more of a thing I got, but I always wanted the Mr. Frosty, man.
Yeah. So when that year that you wanted Mr. Frosty, and it wasn't Mr. Frosty, how disappointed were you?
Every year. From probably the age of 7 till the age of 47. Still.
Oh man. There's still a chance, mate. There's still a chance this year you might get one.
I think there's better ones now.
That was whole slushy machine now. You know the one in the shop now. He wants that now.
There's better ones now.
Slurpee. With cups and sports spoon things.
See, that was one of them early ones for me then. So probably from early years. So what have you got? What
Stacks, what about you, man?
Do you remember Lego Technic?
Yes.
They had a remote control race car.
I remember that.
I always wanted one of them. But it was £100.
Yeah.
£100 for Lego.
That's
a lot of money for Lego, man.
It's a lot. Nowadays,
that's Harrods levels. That's Hamley Harrods levels. Hamley Harrods levels, mate. Those levels.
That is big levels.
£100 in the 80s is.
But like the race car, it was remote control.
Yeah.
It was Lego.
The Technics one, innit? It was for the grown-up kids. It was the grown-up kids.
Range.
Yeah, no, I remember from back in the days. I always wanted. You might remember the advert. You might remember the toy. It was the Lego Space monorail, and it was like one of the first. I think it must have had a battery in it, and it went round on the little monorail track. But it had a space station, and you got spacemen with it. And I always wanted that as well. I never got it, and I think that was kind of a bit expensive back in the day. I think it was another reason I never got it. Yeah, it was one of them levels.
Wow. So Stacks, that year when you, what year was that? Did you think you was going to get it that year? That
I did.
You did get it?
No. I did think I was going to get it because there was a box that was around that size. I was like, this is it, you know. This is
my year.
This is our moment.
It weren't it. It was Lego, but it weren't that one.
It was Let Go, some other brand.
Let Go.
Just real dusty bricks.
It was like, in fact, it was actually a good one. I was very surprised. It was a lorry, which is a bit like Optimus Prime, but you could choose to do a helicopter as well.
Okay.
So,
too bad.
Yeah, disappointed,
can't grumble.
but still,
no, you can't grumble with that.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
But it's not the Lego Technics though, is it?
It wasn't remote control.
That's still all right.
Talking about the size of things and that, like I always used to want, another thing I always used to circle, I always want a snooker table. But you know, I'd get one, but it'd be like the size of a piece of A3 paper. You'd be like, hold on. What am I going to do with this? Like 2 chopsticks as cues. It's like, what am I going to do with this? Like, ask for a snooker table. And I know that none of them boxes are the size of a snooker table. It's like, what have you got me like? And balls the size of marbles. It weren't good.
Everybody wanted a snooker table.
Everyone wanted a snooker table. Yeah.
I remember that snooker table you're talking about.
You had to want the proper spoiled ones to get that.
Yeah.
I got a snooker table.
Oh,
what the proper size?
What size?
You know the one with the cups for pockets, and you put it on a dining table. But it's the size of a dining table.
Yeah, no, I remember that one actually. Yeah, that's quite.
I got that one year. Oh, that was wicked, man. That was and you know how big the box that comes in.
Yeah, you know you got that sitting under the tree when you see that.
It wasn't something I was really looking for, but it turned out I was like,
surprise present, even better.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. When you expected a snooker table, you got that. See, that's a whoa. That's a family fortune.
Yeah, that's a family fortune. You got special prize.
Yeah, that's a special prize. We're not expecting something, and it's a big move. It's a big move.
And like it turns out to be the toy of the season, like of the Christmas season. It's like, you know what, I'm playing with this one the most, and I wasn't expecting that one.
I wasn't expecting this. This is one. Like everything could go to the side.
What was mad about it was that because it had to go on the dining table, I was constantly on the dining table playing stuff. Yeah. So they must have thought, oh, why do we buy him?
Why do we get him that? He's getting in the way now. Yeah, we
should have dinner. It was just constantly set up. It was like, I'm coming from playing snooker
by myself. I've got to finish this game. But we're hungry now. I've got to finish this game.
You're chicken out the middle pocket, man. Bloody hell.
Oh shit!
So what about you, D? What
man? Damn.
I can imagine your expectations were big when we were little, man.
My expectations were massive. Like I had, as we were saying, like all that circling throughout the year. There was, like I said, the sections. You know, the hamper section, the annual section, that small toy section, the truck, the truck section, all these different sections. But I remember when because I would, you know what, on the sly, I would get what I wanted, but like 5 years later, when it's not big no more and it's found cheaper, like I remember when I wanted Optimus Prime, like say in 1985, and then probably in like 1988, I probably got some kind of Transformer.
I think I got Optimus Prime as well.
Yeah, or like I wanted Thundercat, and then like 1989, I get Mum Ra, and that's the thing, like. If you wanted a toy, like you always get the hero first. I used to be vexed if I said, you know, I like Star Wars, so someone gets you a Stormtrooper. It's like, I don't want that. No. Like, yes, later it comes in order. It's like starter, you know, main and dessert. It can't just go straight to a villain.
It's true. The hero, the sidekick, you know, that's the starter and the main.
That's the starter. And then the villain for him to fight, because once you've got the hero, you can fight another toy you've got to say. Like, you don't want the villain to be doing that. You don't want to give him that responsibility. You might join forces and run things in the toy box. So I never got what I wanted straight away, but I got it. You know, I was still getting like toys in the noughties. I'm like, you know, I'm an adult now. What are you doing? That was the 80s. I wanted this stuff, man. But no, something I really wanted was, you know, when computers came in, man. And you got Spectrum for Christmas, didn't you, Chris? One time?
I remember getting Spectrum, Atari.
Yeah. You see how he coyly said that? He got his presents. You know what I mean?
He got what he wanted.
Yeah. Well, I always wanted an Amstrad. Remember Amstrad came with the
green screen.
Green monitor thing, yeah. And like getting things years later. I said I want an Amstrad. And so many Christmases went by, I didn't get it. And then one Christmas, there was an Amstrad, yeah? And it wasn't wrapped, it was just sitting under the tree. But it was just the keyboard with a cassette. And I had to build a cassette. No leads, no cables, just an Amstrad. and that's a half. Like, I've got the Amstrad, but what am I gonna do? I'm in an 80s band and just play it, like dance around the house. What am I gonna do with just a keyboard? So like, you know, my uncle obtained it, this thing, and there's no green screen, But he's like, don't worry.
It's coming.
It's coming. There's some technology coming soon. We can just plug it in to the back of your telly at home. I was like, no, it always comes with a green screen.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was worth the wait, because to this day, I don't know anyone else who managed to plug their Amstrad to the back of the TV and play it in the TV. Everybody had green screen. When I talk about Amstrad, people talk about green screen. Do you remember I had colour?
Yeah,
I had Rolling Thunder, Death Wish 3, and all the games,
Robocop
man.
and stuff.
I went. Okay, I had it on Christmas Day, but I didn't have it until the new year to start playing it. It wasn't playable and stuff, man. But it was worth the wait, man. You know what I mean? But just to see the Amstrad there, no cables, no joystick, nothing. And I had to like build it. It was like an 80s montage, just gradually getting bits built on. And then, summer comes and I'm playing games.
Oh my God.
But, I always wanted a bike.
Bikes in my list. Certain type though.
Always wanted a bike. And that was part of the ritual of circling as well. A bike, an action figure, a handheld game.
Yeah, it felt like you should have a new one every Christmas.
Definitely. A board game, Mr. Frosty, an annual, and then but when BMX came, every kid was crazy with BMX. BMX, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, Mongoose, Diamondback, it wasn't gonna happen.
No way that's happening. Not a Diamondback.
Wasn't going to happen at all. That was a dream.
BMX was on my list, man. I remember like in the Christmas of '82 after ET, BMXs blew up, and then the next year you had BMX Bandits '83, and that was it.
BMX Bandits.
I wanted a BMX. I wanted a Rally Burner.
Yeah.
Rally Burner is in my
list.
list.
I wanted a Mongoose first.
I wanted them, but I knew I could never get them, so I would settle for the blue and yellow Rally Burner. That's the one I wanted, man. And it never came.
Not the golden black.
The golden that was out of the league, man. That was back in the day, right? That one was, I think it was 160 quid. The normal one was 120. Yeah. Then there was one in the middle, and then there was that one you're on about. That they re-released that in the noughties for 600 quid in 20.
Yeah, I see it.
I think it was a couple of years ago, actually, 2019. It was the Super Tough Burner, and they re-released it, limited edition, £600. But that one was good. The chrome and gold frame with black pads. But yeah, BMXs, man, definitely in my list.
And then you might get the little the number panel at the front.
Yeah. The little racing number plate.
Trick nuts on the back.
Oh man, that was. I always wanted a BMX, man.
ATAP Walker, I always wanted as well, man.
Yeah, the full size, big one.
Or Millennium Falcon, one of them, just one of those two, like that, you know. Yeah, and that was never ever gonna happen. I don't think I've ever seen an ATAP Walker in real life, like the toy.
No, someone had one. I can't think who had one. I remember opening the side of it, putting bits in it and moving the legs. I do remember someone had one.
May have been Sam.
Yeah, someone had one. I had the Falcon. You had the X-Wing, which I always wanted and never got. I badly wanted the X-Wing, man.
Yeah, I wanted an X-Wing as well.
X-Wings are hard to come by back in them days.
Mate, I had to save up for that. That weren't just, there's Toy Cave, let's go in and buy it. That was like chores for about 2 years.
For a while, yeah.
Hardcore chores, you know what I mean? Damn, that didn't come easy, man. That was a hustle. That was a hustle, man. But I think, you know, we wanted all the Star Wars figures and you know, all the toys and stuff. But did you guys ever want one of those car beds?
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
a racer car bed, man. Come on.
Yeah, when you were little, that'd be something. You see that in the catalogue, I want one of them.
Yeah, and then you saw the bed sheets of your favorite cartoon. Come on.
I had a Superman bed sheet.
Yeah,
mate, I didn't have any hero bed sheets. My parents, but that's a waste of money. It's like that bed sheets are bed sheets.
I don't think I've got any bed sheets.
Bed is bed.
Bed is bed. You sleep in it. You don't even look at it.
Do you know what I mean? You're not going to see Superman when you're sleeping.
It's true though. It is so true.
I never had that. I remember Return of the Jedi ones come out, like the Forest Endor ones.
There were some good ones, isn't it?
Curtains.
Some good ones, like Superman ones, and I always wanted them.
That beanbag thing you can sit on as well, just sit out.
Yeah, I remember that as well.
Thing.
Oh my god.
That beanbag thing, the car bed and the curtains, like to go with the bed sheets, mate. That was a dream.
It's a wrap, mate.
Yeah, that was Grand Designs level as a kid.
Yeah, Grand Designs level.
That's Grand Designs, and then a Swatch watch just hanging on the wall. That was the
big giant Swatch watch.
The big giant Swatch watch.
Yeah,
that was the level, man.
I had Swatch bed covers actually. I remember having Swatch bed covers.
The Swatch bed covers.
Yeah, I remember having that as the closest I got to Swatch. That's about the closest I got to having a Swatch. I had the bed covers.
I remember them.
Black, red, and green with the Swatch across the whole thing. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, I vaguely remember that. Vaguely.
Yeah. There was one toy I always wanted, and again, it would have been a big box. And every year, for about 3 years, I think 3 Christmases, I hoped it was going to be there, but it was never there. And that was the Castle Grayskull, the full size, big. You know, remember the big?
Yeah, I remember that.
It had a jawbridge.
A
jawbridge. Yeah. Oh, this thing, man. Always wanted that, man.
I remember that. And even though I only had about 3 He-Man figures, it's really inspired me to save up for more. I would have filled that house up. I would have filled up that castle.
Yeah, I had enough to play with. I had 3 like you said, 3 or 4 of the figures. But do you remember as well that with the Skeletor and He-Man figure, their swords, they could lock together. They were like half swords, isn't it? And that was the key. Oh, yeah. That was the key to get into Castle Grayskull. You lock the 2 swords together.
Did you get it at the end or something?
Nah, but I remember finding out that was the key. So on the sword, the back of the sword was flat, and one had a dent, and the other one had a little bump, they clipped together. I said, what's the point of that?
So cars was a big thing growing up, whether it's a remote control car. You know, the Rough Rider car, put the batteries in.
Rough Rider
cars was always on the list, but Scale Electric was the grandmaster of car toys for Christmas.
Definitely.
But what other car toys did you guys want and never got?
I wanted a big track, man. They were like, you can program it to go places, like
do things.
That's the next best thing to a remote control car, which again is something I always wanted. For Christmas.
Never got one.
I did, but you know when you get something and it's like it's good, but it's not
the one I wanted.
Fully remote control.
It's still got a cable. You still have to walk behind it like it's a 4-wheel dog.
Well, no, do you know what I got? Do you ever remember a remote control car where you click? It's got a clicker. When you click it once, it goes forward, and you click it twice, and it goes backwards.
Yeah.
It's got a special warning saying, don't put it near your ear because you'll literally go deaf. It's so loud. But it will just respond to this click, and it was a Porsche 911, like the Martini one.
Yeah,
I was like, my God.
Wow. Yeah, I do remember that clicker thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't have, you couldn't go forward, left, right, like normal. It was just the clicker. You would go click once, it'll go forward, click twice, and it'll go back, and then it'll turn around. And you click again and it goes forward. I remember them sort of ones. It looks nice.
Yeah. Some of them had like a little 5th wheel underneath that used to make it spin round and could do the turning. The actual wheels didn't turn; they just carried on going straight.
Yeah, I had one of them.
The ones in it.
They're market ones that flash.
Them ones.
All different lights, just spin slowly. All these flashing lights.
I love them ones.
Mate.
Wicked. So I sort of ticked both of them, but I remember I think me and my brother had a joint present of a big track. So I know we had it, but I'm sure it was a joint present between us. And we had the trailer that come with it as well, so you could put stuff in it.
You could put drinks in it.
And you put drinks and stuff in it. And then I also had a Knight Rider one Christmas, which was a wicked remote control car. But looking back at it,
got that.
Man, you had that.
It weren't the greatest because it did left, right, forward, on the controller, like a normal remote control car, but it wasn't that fast, and it was very plastic, like it broke really easily. You couldn't do.
Did it have the red light at the front?
It had the little red light at the front. It didn't go long; it just lit up.
That car was amazing.
It was the official, one of them official Knight Rider.
I remember it said Knight Rider on the side of the.
It was wicked.
Mate, that car was wicked, mate.
What Big Tracks gets me to is something I did always want. Made by Tomy was the Omnibot. It was exactly the same as Big Tracks, but it was the robot version that could hold a tray. It was like a little waiter. And they had a little dome head. Because, back in them days, Star Wars come out. Everyone wanted an R2 or a 3PO, or you wanted a droid, didn't it? You wanted your own little robot. And this Omnibot thing, back in 84 when it come out, and it's the same people as Big Tracks, the same thing. You actually programmed it on an audio cassette. and you put the cassette in, and that would tell it left, right, up, pick something up. And I really wanted that thing.
I wanted that so bad. You know, the advert,
money. Yeah, the advert was wicked, man.
And he's holding the tray with the drinks. I'm like, that's me. That is, I need that.
I need that.
I don't have to go to the kitchen to get my own drink.
I need that
I thought the robot was gonna make the drink and bring it to me.
You still gotta get up.
I was like, I wanted that thing so bad.
I wanted that thing badly as well.
But you know what? The funny thing is, I had something similar to that when I was little, and that was a woo woo woo. That was I didn't know that was this toy was this Christmas.
It was one of them special ones.
Yeah. It was a bonus point. It was a robot. It was robot's legs. It was silver. Don't you remember this, Chris? It was silver, right? It was like square on wheels, right? And you would control that box bit on wheels with remote control, right? But the robot you blew it up. It was inflatable.
That does ring a bell.
You blew up the robot and stuck his legs into that silver box at the bottom, and that's how the robot would move. It'd be about 2-3 foot,
like the one out of Rocky or something like that. Sort of.
Yeah,
I do remember.
And it was just like that, just moved, and it was like that. Like you blow it up, and I don't know where it came from, what his name was. It was silver, and like being a kid, because it,
sort of thing.
Yeah, and being a kid because it's inflatable. The amount of plasters I put over it to patch up the holes that were in it, and then and by the end of the year, I just had this silver box just whizzing around, like I was in the Death Star. I stole it from the Death Star, but this present, I can't remember the name of it.
I do remember.
I know I had a robot, a silver robot, blow up, and it would deflate and inflate. Yeah, and the remote stuck it in the legs, remote control. That was a big present, man.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a mad present, isn't it?
Mate, it was unexpected one. Presents of the unexpected. mate, it was big.
Going on like electronic toys and that, man. This is an early one as well. This was like back end of the 70s, but it drifted into the 80s a bit, and it was based on an old 70s American TV show called The Rifleman. And it was Tin Can Alley.
Oh, yes.
And it was an electric. You remember the advert? There was an electric. It worked on an electric beam of light. So it was like early infrared technology. And you had Dr. Pepper and Pepsi cans. And you even got a little wall to put them on, like a little.
Yeah, I remember that.
Little wooden wall. And it was meant to be like a saloon cowboy. It was one of them cock the gun. And I always wanted that. That was another. Every year, I always wanted that.
MB games. Tin Can Alley. That was in a row of adverts. Like you get Tin Can Alley, the Jaws advert, the Operation advert, Crossbows and Catpots, the Frosty, the Mr. Frosty advert, and then the a la carte kitchen. Always happen.
A la carte kitchen. There's some green tree.
Yeah, always happen. Surveilling families, always happen. Like He-Man, the skeleton. Anyway, always happen. Only from Bandai. Always happen.
Only from Bandai. I remember that. I always wanted it though, because it was the rifle and the way it worked. They flicked off of the thing, off the ledge, innit? If you hit one with the light, it flicked up. I was like, man, it looks like you're really shooting them. I really wanted them. Yeah. And then a bit later, mid 80s, came the laser tag version, which I loved. Right. You know from earlier podcasts, I got this thing about Battlestar Galactica space hats. This what you wore looked like that. It looked like one of them Battlestar Galactica hats. Do you remember it? It had a big black gun with some red bit on it, and a vest you wore, so you felt like the laser
Starship
thing.
Trooper.
Yeah. That was like, I remember around mid 80s. Another thing, I never got a laser tag. Always wanted one. Still want one.
Yeah, I remember that laser tag.
They're still made. They're part of the Nerf line now. Still made. The same company got bought out, I think, by Hasbro.
I did want one of them and never got one. Yeah,
part of the Nerf one. But if you when you look at them, you look at the helmets, space hats, sorry, and you'll be like, yeah, I remember them now. I remember, and they're like Battlestar Galactica ones, man.
But all these toys that we've mentioned, I think we all agree on one that was just something that we all never got. We got versions of, and as much as all through the year, I love looking and watching train sets. That whole Hornby thing.
Hornby train sets, man. I wanted one of them.
Yeah, fascinating. But that's just something to look at. But when you want to be involved in track stuff, mate, it had to be Scare Electrics, man.
Scare Electrics was the one, wasn't it, man? It was like the original, man.
TCR will suffice.
TCR was good.
That one was good.
Scare Electrics, man. guys, did you ever get the branded Scalextric version?
Nope. I got a very cheap version, very cheap, so cheap that didn't even have the metal piece to one of the tracks, so I couldn't even race the whole track. Right? I get a figure of 8 for one car. The other car, because the metal bit was missing, couldn't go all the way around. It was useless. It was like, so they took it back and they were like, well, we'll take it back and then we'll get you another one. They never came back.
Mate. And web. So I don't know what to say. You know what? That's wait a minute.
It's disappointment.
That's
disappointment
levels.
on disappointment.
Yeah.
So how long did it last?
I played with it on Christmas Day for like, I tried to do both of them at the same time. And then what happened was like, the one got stuck and I was like, oh, I'll just do it with the one. Yeah. I just weren't cutting it, man. Weren't cutting it.
Mate.
So I said to my mum, I said, like, well, can we just like get another one? She was like, all right, well, I have to send it back first because it's from Grattan or one of them catalogs.
Yeah.
Sent it back, never came back, man.
No. That's.
And she thought I'd forget. I didn't forget.
You didn't forget. Man.
Because for years I wanted Scalextrics.
That was one of the top presents, man. Yeah.
It's the one thing I wanted every single year.
You could add on,
fail.
you could build on it as well. You could go up to like Hamleys or wherever and buy more cars, and you know, it was
more cars. I was going to get some grass,
some grandstands, some people, some crash
billboards, a little hot dog stand,
the hot dog stands, everything, man, everything. I never got one for a Christmas. I always wanted one. I think I got a TCR because I remember it had like a magnetic track, and it was good because you could switch lanes, but it was so like the magnets weren't that strong, so any corner the cars fly off. It was unplayable. It weren't great, but I remember at some point I got a vague memory of my dad walking up the path to the house carrying a box. This was like a random day, just a random day after school, looking out the window, and he had a Scalextric, so I'm gonna giving him one, and it was a biggish set, a big figure of 8. But I had 4 cars. I had 2 motorbikes and sidecars.
4 cars.
Well, I had the motorbike and sidecars. I think a blue and a green one. And I had 2 F1 cars. One was the Lotus, and one was the 6-wheel Tyrrell back from the 70s. I never got anything else for it, but I managed to get. I remember I had to fix it. You had to put the little. There was like little metal things that went underneath that touched the track, and we had to go and buy new ones of them. And I remember doing it all,
to make sure it moves.
And just the smell of it of it running, you know, that sort of the oil burning with the electrics, and it just got that.
It had a particular smell to it.
It was
sidecar thing, mate. I used to watch sidecar racing.
The motorbike and sidecars, when they lead out, the little man.
I've not seen that for decades.
You don't see it.
And you got a Scalextrics one of them.
Yeah, a Scalextrics one. But I also remember, like back in the days, there was horse racing Scalextrics, bicycles and skateboards, but they're really hard to find, man.
I never knew there was a skateboard one.
Back in the 80s,
I didn't know there was a horse. I didn't know there was any of those.
Yeah, because they started off doing the first thing, the one they ever done was a James Bond one. It was like Aston Martins back in the 60s. It was originally made in the 50s, but the first one that really got popular was this James Bond Aston Martin set, and then since then they've done in the 70s they've done a Spider-Man based on the TV show, and it was a blue and red car on a white track, but I've never seen that one, just read about it.
I can vaguely picture that, you know.
But there's some, you know, proper collectors ones out there. The cars in the Spider-Man one were Triumphs as well, I think TR7s. But yeah, like, I think during our days there was like a Knight Rider one, I think a Batman one,
18 one.
Dukes of
Hazzard one.
They done
any program with cars.
Yeah, they capitalized on the movies and the TV shows that were about at the time.
Smoking the Bandit one.
I still like one, man.
Oh, listen, I'd have one.
Look, every Christmas, that was one of the adverts, a TV show or a movie version of Scalextric or TCR, man. So yeah. So guys, if you just listen now, you know, we weren't sport kids. We were very grateful for our presents.
There's loads of good toys there that we never got.
Loads of good toys, but it's exactly, there was loads of good toys that you just, as I said, remember there was no internet, there was no like TV shows just for you. You had to share television. You had to share the catalogue. Do you know what I mean? So when you had your chance, you made sure you used up that catalogue. From the back pages to the front, that catalogue was getting used. So yeah, guys, Hope you enjoyed the show. It's our Christmas special.
The whole year, man. Whole year gone by. Whole year of podcast.
Man. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed our year of nostalgic madness, and we'll see you again in the new year, man. My name is Mr. Lucas.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Stats.
Peace, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Till next time.
Those were the days I remember.